Broadcast Row for the now generation. And now a special presentation from Broadcast Row. Broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world. Wake up. It's time, people, for your morning online gathering. Hosted by Mardel. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. And it starts now.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's 9:05 Eastern Standard Time, October 4th, 2017. Hopefully you're having a good Wednesday. Welcome to the Wrestling Morning Show. It's your host, Mardel. Follow us live on Twitter at Live Morning Show. Also, the information you need, go to thewrestlingmorningshow.com. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and Twitter. And, of course, we have our own app available on iTunes and Google Play. Download the app. We created for you guys, the fans on the go. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about SmackDown. SmackDown, and, of course, we'll be talking about Hell in the Cell. Touch upon 2 nights ago at Monday Night Raw. And we're talking about the WWE moving forward. Call the show, 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. That's the call line and the text line. We do the show every Tuesday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. If you're a new listener, welcome to the show. You're more than welcome to call in and be part of the show. All right, last night, ladies and gentlemen, not your traditional go-home show. It was very basic. I was slightly disappointed. Hell in the Cell is a traditional, great pay-per-view. Icons have performed in it, some of the greatest matches of all time. I'm sure these matches will be pretty good come this Sunday. But last night, they failed us in this traditional sense of a go-home show. Last night, to put in perspective, SmackDown from 8 to 10 Eastern did not trend, not even one time. This is back-to-back days where nothing from Raw, not a wrestler, not a moment, nothing trended. And the same with SmackDown. SmackDown Live trended, SDLive trended for about 5 minutes after SmackDown. That was it. Granted, it was dominated by an unbelievable wild card game. I would say the majority of Yankees, Twins, and all their players, terms like hashtag wildcard, hashtag AL wildcard, all that dominated Twitter last night. So it makes me think that a lot of people watch the game, a lot of people watch a lot of television, especially in the fall season. Not to mention, if you watch the first 20 to 30 minutes of SmackDown, you're not impressed. It was kind of disappointing. Let's go to probably one of the few highlights, kind of what we anticipated, kind of what we've been looking forward to. Here we go, and refresh your memory. From almost 12 hours ago, Shane O'Mac in the ring calling out Kevin Owens.
So Kevin Owens, come on down here. Unfortunately, just what I thought. Kevin Owens is a no-show. You know, Kevin, you talk a big game, but when your back is against the wall, well, quite frankly, Kevin, you show your true colors. You are and always will be exactly what I said you are, and that's a coward. You're a coward for many reasons, specifically because you disparaged and disrespected my children. You beat my father down in the middle of this ring brutally. You hid behind Sami Zayn as a human shield just so you can run away from me, just so you can escape. Well, Kevin, this Sunday, you can't run anywhere because you're going to be locked inside Hell in the Cell with me. And Kevin, when that cell door closes, I'm going to change your life. And you know what else I'm going to change? I'm going to change our rules to Hell in a Cell match right now. It's now going to be known as Falls Count Anywhere. Because there is no way I'm going to have any barriers in my way where I can extract my revenge after the hell you put me and my family through. Kevin, I'm going to beat some humility into you. I'm going to beat you beyond recognition.
Are you looking for something, Shane?
So Kevin Owens, obviously, we hear his voice. He's somewhere in the arena. Then we find out he's up on the first level concourse.
Here comes the real money, Shane. Here comes the real money. Money, 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 money. Man, what a terrible theme song. You're looking for me. How can I help you?
Kevin, I don't quite understand if you understand the concept of face-to-face. So why don't you come into the ring?
Oh, you want me to come down there and get in the ring with you?
That'd be great.
Well, I aim to please. Actually, you know what? I've already spent way too much time in Denver as it is. I'll see you Sunday.
So at this time, Kevin Owens obviously
Just what I thought.
goes back up the
Coward.
steps.
Well, Kevin, if you're not going to bring the fight to me, I'm going to bring it to you.
Oh, no.
All right, so Shane O'Mac goes up the steps, and then they go out to the food area, the food court, the concession area, and there's a big beatdown. And, okay, so that takes place back there. And, of course, everything's roped off. Like, no, it doesn't look spontaneous by no means. Just happens to be nobody there at a very busy concession stand. So while they're in the concession area, it's a slight back and forth, but Kevin Owens just gets the best of Shane O'Mac and leaves him for dead. KO makes his way back into the ring. He grabs the microphone, and only can Kevin Owens deliver this.
You think Shane McMahon is having a rough night right now? You have no idea what's coming on Sunday at Hell in a Cell. Shane, you want to make this false count anywhere? Well, for once, I agree with you because I want to be able to beat you in the ring, outside of the ring, in the cell, outside of the cell, anywhere I want to. Shane McMahon, on Sunday, I will take your face and grind it against that chain link fence until flesh peels off. I will powerbomb you again and again and again until you forget your kids' names. And then I will drag your carcass up on top of that cell, and Shane O'Mac, don't worry about jumping off the cell. On Sunday, I am throwing you off the cell. And there is no getting back up this time. In fact, Shane, you gotta think twice about what you're doing. Last week I stood in this ring and said you were a smart man, but right now you are proving me wrong, and I do not like to be proven wrong. So you need to stop. Make your way back up if you want to make it on Sunday. If you want to make it to Hell in a Cell, you need to stop.
I don't know if Shane...
Fine, you know what? Keep coming down, Shane. Yeah. Keep coming down. Show all these people how tough you are. Show all these people how much heart you have. Show all these people what it takes to be a McMahon. You know what?
Uh-oh, Kevin Owens.
Now, obviously, Shane O'Mac, he's coming down, and he's beaten, and he's battered. And then, of course, Kevin Owens takes advantage of that and then just continues to beat him. I mean, Shane tried to muster some offense at the barricade, tried to muster some offense where he actually dove and gave him like a flying clothesline. Crowd was actually chanting, "This is awesome," at some point. They try to get the announcer table involved. Then they go back to the ring. Then it's a beatdown on Shane. It ends with a pop-up powerbomb. And there you go. And that is the go-home segment for that feud between KO and Shane O'Mac last night. So now we move on. I want to discuss the top of the second hour segment. One thing that we know, when the New Day and the Usos are inside that ring, if it's either wrestling or cutting promos, sometimes they steal a show. Most likely they steal the show. That's how good they are. These are talented individuals. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and now their match for the tag titles will be in the Hell in a Cell. The great structure itself, I'm excited for it. I also get excited when they're in the ring and they're on the microphones. The Usos have revitalized their careers. The new look, the new attitude, the heel gimmick, the phrases like the Uso Penitentiary, down since day one-ish. Things like that. And some of the hardcore fans are actually enjoying those elements. Let's go ahead and take a listen. I've been excited for this. Both teams illustrate their point and establish themselves as dominant tag teams and kind of remind each other about the history they have between themselves. Usos in the ring. Let's take a listen and refresh in your memory right here on the Wrestling Morning Show.
This Sunday at Hell in a Cell, New Day. Y'all not just stepping inside Hell in a Cell with the Usos, nah. And this is not gonna be no 3-on-2. That means one of you suckers is gonna be on the outside eating booty holes while the other two's inside getting that work.
Hey, this Sunday, New Day, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
And inside the Uso Penitentiary, let me tell you something. It ain't gonna be no booty holes.
Nah.
It ain't gonna be no rainbows.
Nah.
It ain't gonna be no sunshine.
Nah.
No twerking.
Nah.
No trombones.
Nah.
None of that.
Nah.
Hey, Us, check this out. Hell in a Cell is very, 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 very similar to what the Uso Penitentiary is like.
How, Us?
Well, see, dog, we're gonna drag New Day right down this aisle right here.
That's a dead man walking.
We're gonna bring him up right to this hell right here.
Got him shivering and shaking.
We're gonna open up that cell door.
I'm gonna throw their ass in there.
No, check this out. I got a better one. How about we throw every single tag team inside that cell? Slam the door.
Bam!
What's that sound?
That's the sound of the tag division on lock.
And you know what? We the ones
That's been putting in work.
We the ones
That's been down since day one.
It just ain't no shirt. I ain't trying to sell merch. This a lifestyle. We the ones
That elevated this tag division to a whole new level.
Damn right. And you know what, Oos?
What?
Come Sunday at Hell in a Cell, New Day. We the ones.
That's gonna be 5-time WWE Tag Team Champions.
It's not paranoia.
It's the Denver.
Okay, so obviously that's New Day coming out, and I thought the Usos did a very good job. I mean, I won't forget when they actually first started. They just, it was a little bit slower process, and they finally started getting over. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of humor in the very beginning with New Day, and they actually get quite serious once they enter the ring.
Exclusively
at WWEshop.com.
But, you know, we're not really feeling that. Because this Sunday is Hell in a Cell.
And y'all want to come out here talking about our rights, we figured maybe we should talk about some lefts.
Oh, yeah. So, about the fact that for the past 4 months, we have left everyone in awe because they had no idea that the SmackDown Live Tag Team division could be this good.
And every time we've gone toe-to-toe, we have left everyone in awe of what we do.
And whether we were on the kickoff or the main show, a tag match or a street fight, we all left the arena with everybody knowing we had the best damn match of the night.
We've left battered.
We've left bruised.
But boys, most importantly, last time we met, we left with these.
And this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, you two are going to be left in a pile of your own day one-ish. And we will remain your SmackDown Live
WWE World Tag Team Champions!
Because
You know, that was intense. Very good job by the New Day and the Usos. New Day comes out, and they obviously add some of the humor to it. Then they get serious, and they spoke the truth. When those men are in the ring, they steal the show no matter when it is. And now they're going to add Hell in a Cell. This could be one of the most anticipated matches on the card. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to also hearing from what you say. The number is 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. We're probably going to take a small little break right now. When we get back, we're going to talk more about SmackDown. We're obviously going to talk now about Hell in a Cell, and I'll give you some of my thoughts moving forward. Also, maybe touch a little bit about Raw, and pretty much talk about anything you want to talk about. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. We'll be right back after this.
Live on Broadcast Row, it's the Wrestling Morning Show.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
A tool called Name Your Price. Get a grip on your spending like an industrial vice. It's nice. Beats rolling the dice. I prefer brown rice. Don't carry dumbbells when you walk on thin ice. Splash.
Get insurance based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ryan Peck drives to rural towns and children's hospitals every week, bringing music to kids who need it most.
Ready?
He dreams of showing people the importance of music in a child's life. American Family Insurance is helping make that happen right now. Wherever your dreams take you, we'll be there to protect you. Learn more about American Family's auto insurance at amfam.com. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row. The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row.
Well, it was advertised on WD.com Well, it was advertised on WWE.com that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to open up the show with an interview. I got a little nervous. Obviously, we talked about this. Nakamura, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. He will go as a first ballot Hall of Famer. But when it comes to the promo work, of course, he's got his limitations. So he keeps it nice, short, and sweet with Renee Young there to help him, and literally cuts it short and sweet because very soon we'll see the Singh brothers come out. We'll talk about this after the segment concludes. Go ahead and take a listen.
Shinsuke, over the past several weeks, Jinder Mahal has just pushed the envelope with his insults towards you, and a lot of people think that he's crossed the line. How have these remarks affected you?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but the words will never hurt me.
Jinder Mahal, in his few words, has called you eccentric, unusual, said we've never had anybody like you before in WWE.
The greatest fear of all is the fear of the unknown. But Jinder will know when I beat him and become WWE champion.
And as we get set for this Sunday for Hell in a Cell, I mean, there's just so much
It's the Singh brothers, and by the way, I really enjoy this music. I must tell you that. Okay, so what they do a decoy, ladies and gentlemen. There is a decoy, and they talk. Nakamura's paying attention. What they do is they give this enormous, big round of applause, this big announcement that Jinder Mahal is coming through. But in his wrestling gear, he attacks Nakamura from behind. And that's it. That's the big go home. That's the big go home for their feud, the rematch at Hell in the Cell. Now, this is not a Hell in a Cell match, as some people have thought. But of course, it's for the WWE Championship, the crown jewel. This was a tough one to build for SummerSlam, and it's even tougher now. And of course, we all got excited because Nakamura was going to have an opportunity. And he did at SummerSlam. And I even thought that Nakamura was going to win. And I was completely wrong. This time around, I kind of have a sense that maybe the WWE does not have the same faith in him that we once thought. Now, I could be delusional. I could be completely wrong. He could go and he could win in Hell in the Cell. Who goes up against Nakamura if he wins? Those are other questions you have to ask yourself when you're in a situation like this. Now, it is a lot easier for Jinder to retain and be that heel, and we can chase him. Jinder actually comes back and cuts a little promo backstage.
I will be standing tall as Nakamura crinkles his ugly face in a pile of regret as he realizes I am still your WWE champion, the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
Okay, so there you go. That's the build-up. That's it. Did they do a good enough job? I don't think so. I really don't. But I've said this 100 times on this program. You're not going to get Shinsuke Nakamura over through a microphone. You can get him over inside the ring. And the moment he got over, after there were a couple months after WrestleMania was in Money in the Bank, when he got attacked from behind, could not compete, and came back a good 25 minutes later to a hero's welcome. And him and AJ for 5 minutes were brilliant at the very end of Money in the Bank. I think the same will be true come this Sunday. So some of the other matches that took place last night on SmackDown, they opened the show, Carmella, Natty, Charlotte, Becky. It was great to see a full-blown Charlotte. Of course, we enjoy her as a heel. It was a quick start, and then a commercial, one of those side views. And there were several chants for We Want Charlotte. Then she gets the hot tag. It was a pretty decent match, very quick match. Natty lost some hair, as a matter of fact. But then Charlotte taps to the sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. Carmella and Natty go over. We finally see Bobby Roode. He comes out, takes on Mike Kanellis. I mean, Mike Kanellis pretty much is now jobbing. That's pretty much his regular job, and that's fine. Squash match. Very quick. Takes a painful DDT. And then he gets the pin. Of course, Ziggler comes out. We're going to go ahead and take a listen right now.
And ready for Detroit this Sunday.
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, congrats, kid. Congrats on your massive victory, Bobby. I'm a huge fan of this whole Roode production. You know, you got me thinking, I'm trying to work on an entrance for Hell in the Cell on Sunday. I don't know, maybe something like this. No, hang on, cut that. Hang on, I got another idea.
Might be the greatest in-ring performer of all time, but his drumming leaves a few things to be desired. It's not exactly Danny Carey or Neil Peart. That was explosive. Oh, not done yet. Oh, calm down, Byron. I know it reminds you of your birthday. Just reminded me of my need to get earplugs. What did you say?
Is everyone excited? Do you feel the goosebumps? Does everybody like me now? You know, Bobby, you think your entrance is everything. Well, congratulations. After all these years, you finally found a way to weasel yourself in the back door and make it to WWE. Yeah, well, this Sunday at Hell in the Cell, I am gonna show the world an entrance like they've never seen before. So bring all the smoke and mirrors that you want. At some point, the bell has to ring, buddy. And I'm gonna expose you for what you are. Bobby, you are nothing more than an entrance. And that is all you'll ever be.
Hey, whoa, hey, Dolph, hey, where you going? Hey, you asked me a question. You wanted to know what I thought about your entrance, right? Well, if I'm being honest, I thought it was horrible. I mean, it was absolutely terrible. I mean, you're doing it all wrong. Yeah, because it goes a little something like this.
Ziggler just got gloriously served.
Okay, yeah, obviously with these two competitors, we just want to see pure wrestling. I hope it doesn't disappoint. These are guys that could go 20 minutes strong and give us a great show, and I'm hoping that is the case this Sunday. There really hasn't been much of a build-up. There's only been a build-up for the fact that Ziggler now is establishing himself as a pretty good heel, a solid heel, a bounce-back year for him, or at least a couple months. And Bobby Roode, who's disappeared for literally 3 to 4 weeks, has returned as a full-blown face at this point. Maybe it's just this run. Obviously, we all prefer him as a heel, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. If he's a strong face, keep it. It's so hard to be a face. So now we move on after that. We got Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. Both men looked great. Now, AJ's backstage, and then they continue to illustrate that Baron could feel the pressure. Ty actually goes over with a nice little roll-up. Then AJ shoots a promo backstage. Now, this is something they've spent a lot of time on. Unlike some of the other matches, they've spent a lot of time on this. This could be the time where AJ drops the belt, really to showcase Corbin. I think that could be the case. I think it probably will happen. I'm not going to go on wax by saying that right now. But I think that is the situation. Giving Corbin, which they've invested a lot of time in, a lot of money in. He's actually selling merchandise, believe it or not. He has a lot of fans out there, believe it or not. And does get a reaction. Putting that title on him, all it will do is just give more opportunities. There are a lot of mid-carders, a lot of people who have really nothing to do, no storyline. People who are just taken off of television. People who are just seen backstage. This is a golden opportunity to give this belt to Corbin. More importantly, free up AJ Styles to go back to main event status very soon. So Hell in a Cell, for the most part, even though they did not do a good job with the go-home show, and they really have not done a great job with most of these matches, with the exception of a few, Hell in a Cell is upon us this Sunday. Now, to shed some light on SmackDown and Hell in the Cell, it's time once again.
It's the Code Break with Brent Coder.
Good morning, Mr. Coder. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good morning to you, Mardel.
Okay, let's go back to last night on SmackDown. A tweet I sent out. Is anybody old enough to remember a go-home show? It definitely was not the case last night. It was actually quite frustrating to watch. It was just, it was painful. It was a lot of anxiety. And you know, we're telling the truth here. It's not like we're trying to pop each other. We're not trying to pop anybody listening. We're not trying to be that show that does that, because we're not those guys. But it was a little painful last night. They had a couple moments that we enjoyed. This is now back-to-back shows that kind of left fans feeling a little bit empty. There's been a lot that's going on television. Monday Night Football. Last night, it was Yankees and Twins. There was Dancing with the Stars on Monday. But this is the go-home show. If I'm a wrestling fan, I'm going out of my way to watch it. And it kind of let me down. Tell me the one thing that impressed you last night from SmackDown.
Well, I think I'm with you, Mardell. Overall, it was just kind of a an average show. Nothing too spectacular, nothing completely horrible either. It was just kind of an average show, not something you expect to see on a go-home show, certainly that's supposed to get you hyped about the pay-per-view. I enjoyed, the Kevin Owens, the end of SmackDown, I thought was one of the better segments. But again, it's more of a something you'd expect to see a couple weeks out from the pay-per-view and not a lead-in to a huge Hell in the Cell match, which has been the main storyline leading into Hell in the Cell, which is Kevin Owens and McMahon. So I don't know, man. I was a little disappointed with the show, but I'm certainly looking forward to the pay-per-view.
Well, I think the pay-per-view will deliver. Don't get me wrong. And look, they got a lot of superstars on this card. And last night, obviously, we've seen this before when it was either Shane versus Undertaker. Shane in the past, would going back a decade or so, where, yeah, he would, he'd be the guy who's not a wrestler. He's an authoritative figure when he's the authoritative face, which he did play toward the very end of his career before he took his hiatus. And, it's the beatdown of Shane that he can't take it anymore. He's not the wrestler, and the wrestler's trying to be a bully to the authority figure. Kind of the same recycled situation that's going on last night. But Kevin Owens, now he's the difference maker in this entire thing. I think the promo that he's going to go to heaven, to be honest, is phenomenal and live in Kevin Owens' history, to be honest. And I think it's going to be, these are two smart people, and they're also going to headline. I don't think they'll disappoint with that. How did you feel about Usos and New Day? Finally, they got inside the ring, and they actually did some promo work. They've had a great battle on many, many shows inside the ring. This is the first time in a very long time that they got on inside the ring and actually talked to each other. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that was refreshing to see. They've put on some incredible matches, and they've had cut some great promos. I thought, last night's effort was just sort of middle of the road. They seem to even almost run out of material on each other. We even saw a couple repeated lines that they've used on each other. So it's not really what I'm interested in. I think, their match this weekend is going to be incredible, no doubt. Every match leading into this one has been one of the better, if not the best, of the SmackDown pay-per-views over the last few months. And I totally expect this one to either steal the show or be right up there as one of the best matches of the night this Sunday for sure.
Okay, so they try to do the impossible. And this has been the problem, going into this match between Nakamura and Jinder. The entire WWE community knew that on SmackDown, Nakamura was going to open with an interview. I'm thinking to myself, oh no. This is going to go horribly wrong, or it's going to be cut very, very short. It was cut very, very short. And I thought that was very smart. And had a couple cliches like sticks and stones, and had one other line, and that was it. Then the Singh brothers come out, Jinder attacks him. There you go. I'm not feeling this. We're going to talk about the Hell in the Cell matches coming out after we conclude with SmackDown talk for a second. But I don't know. It's SummerSlam was SummerSlam. Okay, I see that. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm almost thinking to myself, even though I was going in for weeks thinking Nakamura was going to go over, I'm changing my tune now. I'm changing my tune, and we'll talk about that in our little predictions toward the end. Are you feeling anything between these two guys?
I'm not really. This whole feud has just been sort of weak. You've heard me talk about it week in, week out. I wasn't a big fan of the Maharaja's promos before this. And obviously, like we've talked about many times, you got to limit Nakamura on a microphone, which I thought they did. It was just, couple, like you said, cliches. Just, it was lame, really. And it's almost painful to watch, man. I mean, I love Nakamura. I love what he can do in the ring. I love the artist. I love the entrance. I love everything about his character. But you put a microphone in front of this guy, and man, it destroys almost his aura. You know, it's just it's less than special, which he is in every other aspect. You know, and maybe he gets there. I'm sure they've been working with him. He's been working on his delivery and his promos. And obviously, you know, who am I to criticize? I mean, this is like his probably third or fourth language the guy knows. So, you know, I understand the struggle. But it was painful, honestly, last night to watch. This segment, you know, overall was sort of lame as a lead-in to their match. I would have liked to see, you know, a little more one-on-one physicality or the two separated or something versus Nakamura just getting beat down. I mean, I sort of understand why they do that. Kind of sets up the fact that he's going to be outnumbered this Sunday, sets him up as a true underdog of, like, you know, he's really up against not only Jinder but the Singh brothers. So I get it. But the mic work really, I'm also leaning towards a Nakamura victory, and I guess we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But I just don't know how long they could keep a belt around this guy when he's got to deliver and represent the company. I mean, this is the WWE Championship, not the Universal Championship, which may have exceeded the WWE Championship at this point. But this is the most important belt that they have, and I start to worry that he's going to be able to really hold on to that long and deliver what is needed to be the person in that spot. But I'm sure we'll talk more about that when we get to predictions. But last night, overall, the opening segment for me was just a little painful to watch.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest mistakes they ever did was start to veer toward calling him the artist. When he was the king of strong style, you pretty much described who he was to anybody who had no idea who he was. He's the king of strong style. And then they start calling him the artist. And I think that's what that whole evolution. He's kind of where he lost a couple people. He's still over. Don't get me wrong. He's still over. But why settle with just being over? Settle with being the very best. Settle with being the most over. Settle with being the top guy. That's what everybody achieves to be. And it's, you know, this is a tough pairing. Once again, it's a tough pairing where Jinder lacks not only in promo work, he lacks obviously on the same level as an in-ring competitor as Nakamura. So I was hoping that they would probably fight a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but they really have not. Obviously, it ended with, in the very opening, where Jinder kind of gives Nakamura a little bit of a beatdown. But Nakamura had a couple shots in. Okay, but last thing we want to talk about before we move on to Hell in a Cell card, I'm feeling Ziggler. I'm feeling Bobby Roode. I know this was the most rushed, put-together situation, but I know I'm going to get a great wrestling match out of these guys, and I even like their chemistry a little bit when they finally kind of squared off on the microphone last night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. You know, I'm a Bobby Roode and Ziggler fan, and I expect to see a great match. Obviously, you know, Ziggler traditionally delivers, especially on pay-per-views. Seems to always, you know, come out with one of the better matches no matter where he's at on the card, and I would expect to see that, especially with a guy like Roode opposite of him in the ring. I didn't love, I haven't loved this whole Ziggler angle from the beginning. Last night for me was maybe one of the worst with the drum and everything. I mean, we all get it. It's not really gotten over so well, but he's made his point. I love that, he's become this, we've been talking about this for a while too. He's sort of evolving into this gimmick killer where he's, has a thing for guys that are over because of their entrance or their clothing, or in Bobby Roode's case, like all of the above. Right. So it makes sense. And I think it's going to be a great match, but I just didn't love the segment tonight. I wish there would have been a little bit more of a backstory here with these two, where we would have actually gotten a few more in-ring promos, but instead we got a lot of clothing changes from Ziggler for a few weeks and him doing some antics around other people's gimmicks. After he had kind of already made his point, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more build-up between these two, but hopefully this is something that extends over the course of the next month or two, and I'd be fine with that because I'm a fan of both these guys.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go in reverse order right now. Here are some Twitter poll questions I put out. This one you're not going to answer because we're going to talk about it in a second. A sad build for Jinder Nakamura. Granted, it's a rematch for Hell in the Cell. Who wins this Sunday? Well, obviously the polls are still out, but 60% say Nakamura. 40% say Jinder. All right, let's get one where you can actually answer, Coder. Here we go. Besides Kevin Owens and Shane O'Mac in Hell in a Cell, what match are you looking forward to the most this Sunday? Jinder and Nakamura, AJ and Corbin, Ziggler and Roode, or New Day versus the Usos?
New Day versus the Usos all the way. I expect that to be epic.
Okay, well, you agree with the world. 60% say New Day versus Usos, 20% Ziggler and Roode, which is awesome, 12% AJ Corbin, 8% Jinder and Nakamura. What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite moment from both brands this week? Enzo shoots at the end of the show. Kevin and Shane final showdown. Shield reunion tease, or Abigail is alive? I think I know this one.
I'm going to go with Abigail is alive on this one, although I did enjoy the Kevin Owens segment. I'm also a big Bray Wyatt fan, and I love where this could potentially go for his character.
Shield reunion, 33%. 30% KO and Shane, 21% Abigail is alive, and 16% Enzo. And this is the last Twitter poll question. After a less than entertaining go-home show, let's take your temperature for Hell in the Cell this Sunday after SmackDown Live tonight. Are you more excited, less excited, or about the same?
I'm about the same over here, man.
Okay, 42% said less excited. 33% said about the same. 25% more excited. Interesting. So those were our Twitter polls. Appreciate it, Coder. Let's talk Hell in the Cell card as we talk out these matches and, yes, make our predictions. Like to let everyone know that at SummerSlam, I was unreal with my predictions for the first time in my life. The last pay-per-view, No Mercy, god-awful. So here we go. We do know that there's going to be a kickoff show. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Hype Bros. I can only imagine that Gable and Benjamin go over, and hopefully this is the beginning of the riff for Zack Ryder and Mojo. Give me your prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Hype Bros losing here for sure. You see the split coming. I don't know that anybody really cares. Maybe you do. I know you do, Mardel, but I'm not sure the world does in general. But they're getting more love than they have in a long time, and it's certainly time for the Hype Bros to split, and to see Zack Ryder make a move to the heel side would be great. So yeah, I'm going to go with them losing, and we begin to either see a split or it all goes down this Sunday, where the Hype Bros are no more.
Well, I have to tell you this, that when the Barclays Center opened, it was a TLC, if I remember, and I was there. One of the hottest crowds that I've ever experienced. A brand new arena. I was at the newly renovated Madison Square Garden, the very first event they had there. If it was newly renovated, now it looks like every other arena in the world. They had Survivor Series, and it was a hot crowd. Now, granted, this is the East Coast. This is also Detroit. It's a brand new arena for the first time ever. They're actually having a wrestling event. So I think there's going to be love even during the kickoff. And it's going to be Gable and Benjamin. Let's go with Randy Orton and Rusev. That probably should have been the kickoff. I'm just gonna go with Rusev because I like him more. There's no science behind this. I just like Rusev more. I love Randy Orton. I'm a huge fan. But there's no need for Randy Orton to even win. Let's do something with Rusev. Randy Orton's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Pretty much going to be a wrestling legend. Show some love for Rusev. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a match that I'm truly have zero interest in. It's been a poor build all around. I am an Orton fan, but I'm going to go with Rusev as well here. I think he gets a win, and it's much needed for him since his return. He's gotten very few of those, so that'll be good for him.
Rarely do we ever mention AJ Styles and AJ Styles so low on the card, but for the WWE United States Championship, AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. I'm going with Baron Corbin to defeat the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, it's certainly, you'd certainly think so, but the guy has fell short in many of his efforts recently over the past few months. And I'm going to go with AJ here. I think I'm going to go with AJ to retain. I think some other titles are going to change hands. And because of that, I think this one's going to stay with AJ. I don't know where he'd move on from where he's at currently. So I'm going to go with keeping the belt on AJ with a win over Corbin here.
Okay, well, let me justify what I just said. Corbin wins. And this gives opportunities for a lot of mid-carders to face the heel. That just frees AJ up for that heavyweight picture. Okay, let's move on. Natalya and Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I got Charlotte all the way here. I think we're going to see a very short reign for Natalya. And, I think Charlotte's the one to really sort of build the SmackDown women's division around. She's the most athletic, the best on the mic. She's the best all-around performer, maybe of all the women. Certainly one of the most athletic. So I'm going to go with Charlotte here. I see her taking the belt. But, there's always a chance that Carmella could also get involved and somehow end up with the title by the end of the night. Seen a little bit of that tease with her, and she's now had the case for several months. So we certainly could see some shenanigans and ultimately Carmella coming out here. But I'm going to go with Charlotte.
Well, I'm going to go with Charlotte as well. I think for the sake of, now I feel bad for Natalya because we all know what she's done for the women's division, obviously behind the scenes, and she's been there longer than anyone. I think it's Charlotte because now they really need to do something and make that division a lot stronger. There's also a very good chance that Paige could return to SmackDown Live sooner than expected, and that just adds to the mix. All right, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I'm going to go with, unfortunately, Bobby Roode, even though I really want Ziggler to win. I think this is more important for somebody who's not yet established with the common folk to win. I think it's best for business if Bobby Roode wins, even though I'd love Ziggler to win.
Yeah, I think I'm with you here. I think Roode needs the win to put him on his first pay-per-view, and for him to lose, clean in any way, I think would be a huge mistake. So I'm going to go with Bobby Roode here. But what I expect to see is an excellent match, and maybe by the end of the night, beyond the Hell in the Cell matches, this might be one of the best matches of the night.
Okay, New Day and the Usos. Definitely, we are expecting that. It is only one of two Hell in the Cell matches. This is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Go ahead and make your pick.
This is tough. Another match that's going to be exceptional. I mean, we've just come to expect it with these two teams. But I'm going to go New Day here. They've obviously got the numbers, and for no other reason. I mean, it's been a lot of back and forth. For no other reason, I just feel like it's they're going to continue their run that they've been on, and I think we'll see them at the end of the night pick up the win.
I want the Usos. I'm a fan of the Usos. But I have to agree with you. It's going to be the New Day. 3 versus 2. That's what it comes down to. And as much as I wouldn't be happy with it, I think the New Day, they retain. Okay, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. I'm going to take this one, Kevin Owens. No doubt in my mind. Yeah. There's no need for Shane to win. And if there are rumors are out there that KO is going to take on Triple H or whatnot, why would you ever, come on. Don't do that to Kevin Owens. He really is him and AJ are the best part of SmackDown. You can't do that. Go.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that either, man. I'm with you. KO is top of the food chain on SmackDown and one of the top guys on the entire WWE roster. He produces week in, week out, consistently. Every segment that he's on is going to be strong. He is just a phenomenal heel. And, I expect to see a couple big spots from Shane. I think everybody knows that going in, what we're going to get from Shane, but I totally expect KO to come out with a victory here. Shane doesn't need it. Not to say that Kevin Owens necessarily needs it, but it would be somewhat of a buried job for him to lose to the general manager. If somehow that happened, though, watching him go ballistic and freak out about losing to Shane could be fun for a few weeks if they're going to continue to have a feud. But for me, this is more of a one-off type of match where we're not going to see Shane back in the ring for the next couple months. So for that reason, I got to go KO here.
Yeah, 100%. For everything that you just mentioned, Kevin Owens goes over. This is the biggest no-brainer out of all of these. Now, granted, I picked Kevin Owens. You know what's going to happen. Shane is probably going to win. All right, now this is the controversial pick of the night. Jinder versus Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Mr. Coder, what is your prediction?
I got Nakamura all the way here. I really thought he was going to win the first one and come out with the title at SummerSlam, but obviously we didn't see that. I totally expect him to pick up the win this weekend and become the WWE champion. I think it'll make news worldwide, certainly over in Japan, but this is another big deal beyond the United States, just like Jinder's championship was for the $1.3 billion. So, whatever. I don't know what the Asian market's like, but even more billions, 6 billion, something like that, are going to be excited come Sunday when we see Nakamura with the championship.
Okay, I've thought about this, and if you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have said Shinsuke Nakamura. I think, in my opinion, Jinder retains, and it's going to be because of the Singh brothers, but I do believe Shinsuke will get another chance at the next pay-per-view, and then they will bore us to death. So I'm going to go with the unpopular decision and say Jinder Mahal. And that's my final answer.
Wow.
Yes. So I think we agreed on a lot, but on the big ones we kind of disagreed on. So I think some of this is kind of a no-brainer. It's unfortunate because the main attraction is the actual structure itself, which is sometimes hard to look at. And after this, they all joined forces. SmackDown joins forces with Raw for Survivor Series. So that should be interesting.
I got a question for you, Mardel.
Yeah.
What did you think about this stipulation added for Shane and KO with Falls Count Anywhere? In my mind, when I heard that, I'm thinking, well, it kind of like doesn't that make the whole point of Hell in a Cell sort of pointless? I mean, if Falls can count anywhere and if you can get pinned anywhere, what's the whole point of the cage? Unless that means you could get pinned on top of it or something. But yeah, some sort of foreshadowing here, I think, ultimately will be the finish. Whether that happens on the stage near the entrance or somewhere outside of the cage, I guess I'm assuming. But it kind of like, in my mind, takes away the point of the cage, which is you can't escape it. It's Hell in the Cell.
Well, I mean, what everybody, there's so many different things that make Hell in the Cell very special. And obviously, the outside of the structure itself, breaking through the structure, going on top of the structure, you know, and the biggest pop is when you actually get out of the structure. For me, if I remember some of the great moments in Hell in the Cell history, getting thrown off, jumping off, breaking through. So this, I think what this means is, hey, we thought of the finish already. Oh, by the way, you need to mention this, Shane. So they're going to think of something creative, which means they could get pinned anywhere. Maybe it's on top of the structure. Well, that would be kind of cool. You know, but yeah, you're exactly right. Why would you even mention that?
You'd have to get the ref up there, I guess. Well,
yeah,
it's a possibility now.
You're
anywhere.
Yeah, you're 100% right. So, man, that was a little. Yeah, now that I think about it, this kind of ruins this entire thing for me now. Because I it's like one of the better parts of everything is just, you know, beating the hell out of somebody and then doing the impossible task of bringing them back into the middle of the ring. So I'm a little frustrated now. I thought it was just something he added for a pop. And maybe because they already designated the finish, but you're right. Because now I'm thinking in my head some of the more creative situations that could happen where you could pin him. I mean, maybe we see the first ever referee on the very top of the cage. Who knows? I don't know. That should be interesting now. Hey, who are you kidding? We're still going with Kevin Owens. Still going with Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, Coder, that concludes our little prediction show. I appreciate you joining us on the program. We'll definitely correspond, and I appreciate the call, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, Mardel. I'll talk to you soon. Looking forward to this weekend. Should be a great show.
It's the Code Break with Brent Coder.
It's always great to talk to Mr. Coder. You can follow him at Code Rock 874. That's Code Rock 874. Okay. Well, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate you guys joining us on the show. We're going to say our goodbyes, but we're going to be making an announcement. We have a very special Hell in the Cell show coming up, and I hope you guys are all going to be a part of it very, very soon. We'll give you more information about it. Obviously, when this show goes off the air, it goes into podcast form, available on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. I appreciate everybody joining us on the program today. We're going to do this probably, most likely. We'll let you know. If it doesn't happen Saturday afternoon, it's definitely going to happen Sunday night. Our first Sunday night post-pay-per-view show. I'll give you more details about it. I want to thank Broadcast Row. That is the company that provides the Wrestling Morning Show. I want to thank Brent Coder, everybody behind the scenes. Of course, the fans who listen. Everybody in the world who is listening, thank you so much for supporting the Wrestling Morning Show. This is Mardel. Be good, everybody.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row.